Welcome back to the Tailosive EV podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am once again.
But have you ever tried DMT?
Yes, actually, I have, and I'm gonna say going to the DMV is my least favorite experience on Earth, which is why everyone should get a Tesla because they are more efficient and
Way
more
to bring it back around.
Thank you. We're not talking about drugs on this podcast.
I think you still have to go to the DMT.
Friendly.
Even with the Tesla.
Have you ever been to the
Department
DMT?
of Motor Teslas?
Yeah. Have you ever tried DMT, Department of Motor Teslas?
I like it.
New branch of government.
I like it.
I'm about it.
True.
And you still have to wait in line for about 7 hours, but you know.
But you can have your full self-driving Tesla drive up to the parking lot and get a ticket for you, and just wait
you
there.
can have your cake and eat it too.
Boogie Town Racing while you're waiting.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
built in now.
Full self-driving beta. Show of hands of who has it.
Okay. Just nobody, huh?
Yep. He's still waiting.
Well, I'm still waiting.
I keep doing like a refresh, like I'm waiting for an
puzzle.
iOS update. I keep refreshing. Come on.
So how
did you see the UI redesign that's been rolled out, like V11? I like it.
It is
11 what?
Dope.
It's like what we were talking about last week about like, you give us the best of both.
It looks like the Cybertruck UI.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Which I
Dark
love.
Instead of a drop-down mode, it's like a view of your vehicle at an angle, and you can tap on the front to open that, or the trunk.
It's like that movie Eagle Eye or something with Shia LaBeouf, and everything was like, it's like that. Yeah.
It looks cool. I like it. Yeah. I hope they can roll that out to everybody by the end of the year. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So why are Tesla software updates so staggered? Like, I don't understand this.
Because you're so used to iOS and how iOS operates.
Well, FSD beta it's like if we roll this out to everyone, there could be a huge amount of car accidents, instead of if we roll this iOS update out to everyone, they will get an annoying pop-up on occasion.
Like, way to call that back.
It's not as risks are a lot higher with the full self-driving thing. So they apparently have told the people that are on the beta, you can film it, you can share it, but if you mess up or if you show yourself doing something stupid, you're going to get like permanently axed and in big trouble. So they're just being overly cautious with the rollout, I think, because of the risk involved, and they don't want a bunch of cars to start crashing into people. So I can see why it's staggered.
Yeah. Well, hope that answered your question, Nick. Hope that answered our audience questions. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next week. All right.
Bye.
I'll let you know when I have full self-driving. Man, I'm telling you, I'm like a kid at the candy store and he can't sample anything. I'm just like, but I can see it and I want it. It's a weird time.
It does look amazing.
I will say, I've had time to think about it over the past week, and I will say, one, I think $10,000 is a justified price. Two, I think the monthly cost should be higher and will be higher when the final version comes out. If they're going to give you monthly cost based off of a beta today, honestly, it's anybody's game. I was really thinking about it. I was like, it doesn't make sense this other way, but final cost, it should be higher than what I say, $50 or $75. It should be way higher than that. But with the beta, it's anybody's game, because the way I see beta right now, as we were just saying right now, some people have it, some people don't, but we all have full self-driving beta. We're just it's not turned on. So it's hard for me to put a price on what features you may or may not have.
Beta. That is for sure.
I'm trying to figure out why you're on the show, Nick.
I know. I wonder this time, every single time we start one of these shows, I'm like, why am I on the show?
He has FSD locked to his Cybertruck order.
This is true. For $7,000. That's a beautiful price.
He actually owns more full self-driving copies than you do at this point.
I don't own anything. I have the right to purchase. I have purchase options.
You have the right to purchase 3 full self-drivings at 7, which Randy does not have.
You're right. Instead, I actually just purchased it, so I own it. It's my software.
It's on a Model 3, which is different.
Which is trash and just garbage, and no one should have a Tesla Model 3.
Everybody loves it, and you're jealous.
Everybody loves it.
Frankly, folks, everybody told me that it's amazing.
Did you guys? What did you think of Consumer Reports saying Tesla is a distant second to GM Super Cruise?
Yeah,
Get out of my life with that.
I laughed so hard, and then I went and watched that JD Power video on YouTube. It was like, it's a Chevy. JD Power Awards.
I was trying to figure out why I think they did that for clicks, to be honest. I don't think they genuinely believe that. I don't think
anybody would genuinely be that stupid.
I don't know how you could justify, well, because you can't use it as much, it's better. Because you can't see its flaws, given it only works on pre-mapped highways. It's not even every highway. It's only highways that they have mapped out themselves.
Wow.
And the videos I've seen of Super Cruise were very
Let me tell you
disappointing.
What really grinds my gears, America. Why does
Are there any gears in a Tesla?
Yeah. There are some.
One.
There's but the one. Here's what really grinds my gear, America.
Thank you.
Tell me why every manufacturer and its mother has a rendered concept of their EV, but none of you have an actual working prototype. At least we got prototypes and infrastructures in place, and everybody else has these concepts, but you don't mind putting a price on a concept that is... Just go home. You're drunk. You're done. Let me tell you, you're drunk. Go home.
I think that's safe to say. I don't think companies should unveil stuff that's a render and not.
Otherwise, it's going to be just like Nikola and Air Power and get axed.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to that Hummer EV. That thing is going to be so fun to take around town and just eat all of my
once
megawatts.
They make it.
Yeah, well, in 2099 when they do end up making it, it'll burn through my 1.21 gigawatts, and we'll go about 10 miles, and it'll be
where
so
we're
much fun
going, Nick. We don't need gigawatts. I'm jiggling for my watts.
Yeah, I
looks like watts.
I don't think
watts
it's going to do
jiggling.
very well, to be honest. I think people who are into Hummers would not be into an electric Hummer.
No, I feel like
in the first place.
Whoever decided to pursue that product category deserves to lose their job, because
they're just trying to make shareholders happy.
The point of a Hummer is to be able to gas out with a bunch of black smoke a Prius. That's literally the point of a Hummer. And
yeah, I think that's the hard definition when they unveiled it. They said, we want you to black smoke out a Prius at an intersection. Please buy our car.
That was the
Hummer stands for high unhealthy members
monoxide.
Monoxide every
entering respiratory system.
Ooh, whoa. Bravo, Drew. Bravo.
Touche. I don't think you're using that right. Touche. Hi, I'm a Mac and I'm a PC. Touche.
I think Cybertruck is going to become the now universal standard for what people should expect for price and range. And when anything is below that, everyone's just going to be instantly disappointed. Everyone's just going to be like, yeah.
That's not Cybertruck's so much cheaper. But it looks ugly.
We are coming into, it's been a year. This is the month it's been a year since the unveiling.
Almost.
November.
And I can say, unequivocally, my mind has been changed.
Ooh.
Yeah. But we knew that the moment I saw it in person. There's no substitute. There's no substitute to it. And people hate on it because they don't understand. Oh, man, the way I saw it in person and feeling that steel.
And you touched it.
And I touched it. My fingerprint, my DNA was left all over that thing for about 5 minutes, and then they came and wiped it down. Like I was yesterday's news.
It's changed a lot. I mean, the whole EV space has changed just from that unveiling. And how Tesla's future has been changed, and how this podcast probably wouldn't exist.
This podcast was a result of that, I would say.
Yes, it was. Thank you, Cybertruck.
Thank you. Cybertruck has made every channel we've touched monetized.
Yep.
This is true. Thank you, Cybertruck.
Cybertruck,
know,
guarantees instant viral video.
Yeah.
But I'm
What's it
still
like to be
worried
on the
about
top, Drew? It
Cybertruck.
feels pretty good for me. Drinking my cyber water. Speaking of cyber designs, that router that you showed me.
Yes, Starlink's router.
Right before we started the show, I went to go show Brittany. I'm like, hey, look at this. And she's like, and she's sitting on the couch. She goes, yes.
Yeah. Well, I hope the cyber effect still stretches into more designs because I don't want it to be a one-off thing. I want to see it across more of the lineup. If big tech has to be broken up someday because Tesla's a monopoly and no one can catch up, then they should spin off the cyber brand into its own company.
That would be
I would be willing to be the CEO of said brand, just so I can stop being worried about it.
Cyber vehicles.
Cyber Vehicles Incorporated.
Don't go public.
No. It's gonna have to be like Cyber X or something like that.
There you go.
Something
X.com.
X.com, yeah. CyberX.com.
I get behind that. The more I think about it,
EX.
we had that big rant. Was that last episode or a few episodes back about how I wanted the Cyber sedan? And the more I think about it, I want to live in that future. Or at least I want to be the one guy who lives in that future. In the sea of Ford Explorers and Honda Civics, everybody's driving their basic F-150 car, and then I show up in this Blade Runner-looking stainless steel, very flat door wedge-shaped sedan, and I just drive that thing around because it's cheap and functional, and I want to live in that future. That sounds amazing.
I want my future vehicles now to look like they belong in Star Wars or something.
This is
but
the
make it look like the Millennium Falcon or something.
I want to take the back bed area and just fill it with speakers, so I can play the soundtrack from Mad Max just super loud as I go down the highway.
We don't appreciate that unveiling enough.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everyone remembers the durability demo because that was the biggest.
Oh my God!
History. But it was super underrated because I love the Mad Max soundtrack, and they decided to use it for that. It was so perfect.
It was perfect. With the
I love that song.
I listen to that song all the time. It's like Brotherhood.
I know Tesla doesn't do advertising, but that event was, other than the durability demo, was amazing. I loved it. I really hate that demo. It screwed up everything. It could have been the most perfect event of all time if they didn't do that. But
the only
still,
positive
even
that came out of that,
even with the mistakes.
Yeah, well, the mistakes caused stocks to go, and that was the last time it was universal low on sale.
Yep.
And then people are like, once they got past it, because if you make a meme or if you become a meme, you become successful. And if you talk about it enough, it just draws attention to it. And they doubled down on that and then went on Jay Leno, put it in a museum, did all these little things where they can put it in front of your face as much as possible.
Let Randy lick it. Okay, we know.
Let me go up to it and just go like, well, that scene in SpongeBob, I'm so close, I can almost taste it.
You're a little too good at that Patrick voice.
Oh, you have no idea. I have spent years, basically decades trying to perfect that. Oh, SpongeBob, blissfully unaware of how dumb you really are. I can almost taste it.
I was happy to hear at the last earnings call that they still expect to do Cybertruck deliveries next year.
Yes.
That is good.
Yes.
And
the factory is coming along
money, folks.
swimmingly.
We're going to be returning the iPhone 12 Pro and the iPhone 12 so that I can keep this iPhone 10 and get my Cybertruck next year.
Do you think, now knowing what we know about Battery Day, that the prices are going to be accurate to what they unveiled them to be?
Oh, yeah. I hope. Well, I think it'll be a little fluctuations. I don't think it'll be as drastic as, we said 40, it's going to be 55. I don't think it's going to be like that.
That'd be kind of funny.
Maybe.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Slight rounding error.
We meant adjust for inflation.
Yeah. We were 15 grand off.
Whoops, 15 grand.
Also, the price of FSD off.
Yeah, we were the price of a full-fledged, hatched out.
I bet it'll be 15K by the time the Cybertruck comes out.
Oh, FSD?
Ouch.
Yeah.
Well, then I really need to get working on this. My 7 grand reservations are going to be more valuable every
That's
day.
what was so genius about it. I mean,
know.
at first I was like, that's interesting that they're willing to lock in your price at FSD, but now I realize no one will want to cancel.
Now, because now you have to more than double. If it's 15 grand, you have to more than double that.
Because if you decide to cancel and wait till later, you're going to have to spend an extra 7 grand to get.
You're
That was so
right.
smart. They're playing 4D chess.
They are.
And I'm
They
over here
solidified
playing
those orders.
1D checkers. Oh.
Yeah.
checkers.
They were like, people will think they're saving money by locking in their FSD price, but in reality, it's securing a sale because no one wants to
Because
now
you're gonna have FOMO, like the likes you've never seen, and FOMO is one heck of a drug, man. They're like, oh, I need
Because it means I have to buy it now to save money.
Exactly.
Because if I don't buy it now, I'm going to spend 7 grand more, or however 8 grand more if it's 15.
It makes you
But just-
throw logic out because and now it trapped you. It baits
It's
you into that
emotional.
Yeah, it made you
It's
throw
an
logic out.
experience.
Wow.
It's kind of icky. It's kind of mean, but I respect the business strategy.
I respect the game, and I feel sorry for all the players. Here's the thing: now that hey, I'm just saying. Now I know for a fact, like, given the position that we're gonna be in, like, I knew back then, before life changes were about to happen, stuff like that. Like, you know, Brittany was serious about buying this, and now I know even more so. It's like there is. I don't see a scenario, unfortunately. Even though it's not my dollar, so I guess I don't care all them. But I don't see a scenario where I'm not walking out of this with a Cybertruck. And that's...
Did you guys lock in FSD on the Cybertruck order?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I forgot.
Yeah. But see, unlike Nick, where he's like 100 for every schematic, and we'll figure out later. Not even we.
That's
like
a smart way of doing it.
She sent me a screenshot after she did it. I didn't even know she was gonna do it. And hers like, I know exactly what I want. My mind's not gonna change. I'm gonna get the best bang for my buck, and I'm gonna make it last and count. And so, you know, the highest tier with the full self-driving, boom, there you go, done. Bada bing, bada boom. Where I would have done probably Nick's approach, because that thing is like $600, one for each. I'll do one for each.
No, I only
with
did
and without.
$300 of reservations.
But what I'm saying is I would have done one with each, one with and one without.
Why one with and why one without? You could just
because
not
maybe
pay for that later.
Because you still keep your place in line. One.
You still keep your place in line. You just don't pay for the FSD.
But you don't know, like, I could see.
Say you can modify it after the fact.
Yeah. So once you can go to confirm your order, that's when you can add or remove.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's
Never mind.
Okay, so just 3.
Yeah, you just need 3.
So if we looked at if Nick was on Millennial Money and they did a pie chart of his net worth, there would be a big chunk of just Cybertruck reservations. And that's part of his net worth.
Nick, how much
my net
well,
worth
because you're
is
not going
so small that you can see $300 on the pie chart easily.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I just mean that you're clearly not. I think it's fair to say you're not going through.
That's exactly
with
what
every
he meant,
reservation.
Nick. Don't
I
let him
know that's exactly what he meant. Live on air. Drew is just
I heard it too,
here.
Nick. I heard it too.
Well, if you got more than, if you had like 10 reservations, and you're like,
okay,
looking at this
$1,000,
sliver.
that might be, a very small percentage.
I don't know your net worth, Nick. I'm sorry. I don't.
It is just in the tens of dozens of dollars.
I want to see a Millennial Money on Nick and Sweeney. I think.
What is a Millennial Money?
Wow.
It's like Randy's like,
someone's
wow,
offended.
someone doesn't know.
Okay, so sorry. My gosh.
It's like a CNBC show where they break down someone's income and expenses, and
it's a way. It's a way. It's a way to flex without it like you making your own flex. It's like, guys, no, I don't want to talk about my net worth as being 1.7 million.
It's a subtle flex. Yeah.
It's the new version of like MTV Cribs where you want to go, hey, look at all my toys.
Well, Nick's not going through with every Cybertruck order, I think.
Oh no,
which means
dude!
that
I'll be lucky to
you're
avoid
getting-
the
not be the
$40,000
weirdest-
one in 2024.
You're getting $200 or $300 worth of money back later through Cybertruck reservations.
It wouldn't be the weirdest Nick flex. Like I've seen his Aunt Sweeneyisms. If he got one of each, I wouldn't be that shocked. I'd be like, yeah, that
That
sounds
is something
about right.
he would do.
That is
Ouch! Come on, guys. I don't buy 2 of every new product. I mean,
How many iPhones do you have right now, Nick?
3,
How many
I rest my
MacBooks do
case.
you have right now?
1,
How many iPads?
How many Apple Watches do you have?
1,
How many Apple Watches?
1.
How many subscriptions do you have with Apple? Apple One.
He could have his weekend Cybertruck and his vacation Cybertruck.
Of course, I
Because
totally
they look
would.
so different.
You know how Steve Jobs would have like 10 of the same shirt?
Yep,
Nick
yep.
has like 10 Cybertrucks that he uses for different occasions. He's like trying to decide which one.
So, like,
Goes
to the garage.
My wife goes to like pull out one of the Cybertrucks to go to the grocery store. I'm like, no, that's the vacation Cybertruck. What are you doing?
Not license
I can
plate
see it.
007. Give me 002. That's the grocery store one. Yeah.
Actually, I'd rather have
That makes
license
sense.
plate number.
Can we keep
69420.
picking on Nick? I'm having fun.
Yeah, I'm really having fun too. You know, I was really thinking the fact as I drove my car. For those who don't listen to the tech podcast, I've been driving my gas car, over 7 states looking for the 1 millimeter wave 5G tower.
How dare you?
In the U.S.
How dare you.
And as I've been putting on miles, using the steering wheel like a Neanderthal, having to keep this thing in the lines of the road, and having to stop at all these creepy gas stations and just try not to get murdered as I'm sitting there pumping gas. It has been a very sad experience every time I drive by one of those Tesla Superchargers, and there's just a bunch of posh Model 3 owners who are just sitting there like, I'm going to sit here with my Yeti mug and, just, sip
I don't
This is
know.
before the
champagne.
snake charger.
Yeah.
Once the snake charger is out, they don't even have to get out of their car.
That is true.
Oh,
I don't
want
know a
that so
scenario,
bad.
Nick, where someone is listening to this show and they're not watching or listening to the tech podcast.
Yeah, that is
Mike.
probably true. Actually, Mike.
shout out to Model Y Mike.
Yeah, Model Y Mike. He is the one who gets mad at me when I don't publish an EV podcast. He's like,
Model Y Mike is not listening to the tech?
I'm guessing.
Nah. Impossible. Impossible.
He'll text me as soon as he gets to
Yeah.
this part of the episode. Shout out to Mike. Thanks for letting us film your Model Y. We appreciate it.
I think
and thank you for letting
very
us
low
boil
VIN
your
Model Y.
identity down to the vehicle you drive, Mike. We appreciate
That's
it.
all that.
Model Y Mike.
Not,
Well, we
not,
do it
not
to
the
Randy,
fact that
so.
not the fact that he's a married man has that. No, nope. He's got a car. That's it. That's all his
guy with a
worth
car.
is to us.
I'm hoping he gets his FSD beta so that
Then
we
we
could
could
film
have
it.
the third meetup in a row.
I would rub it in Dirty Tesla's face, which I'm a big fan of, but he really wants the rewrite and he hasn't got it yet. So if Mike gets it, then I'm instantly gonna film his vehicle doing it and be like, "Hey, look, I don't even have one, and I got it before Dirty Tesla." We love
What if
you.
I get it first?
Then we're
Well,
gonna
I
have
don't
to.
know if I want to go that far.
Aren't you gonna?
You can come to me. What?
True.
It's not like I'm asking for much. You don't have to drive.
Ooh, this is true.
The car's the one driving, so
Tell
I'm
you
not
what,
asking you much. I'm
if I
asking
get-
you to sit in your car for 8 hours and do nothing. That's what I'm asking you to
So you basically do what I've been doing every single day of my life.
do. Yeah, it's not asking much.
If I get one more referral and I get another 1,000 miles, I will use those 1,000 miles to come see you.
All right, you heard it here, audience. We need someone to buy a Model 3 so that Randy can
No, it
come
doesn't have to be.
visit
It could be any model. It's just if they use my referral, I'll get 1,000 miles. If they
Just
do
get the
that,
cheapest,
get the cheapest one.
$35K.
No, no.
Yeah.
You got to get the ludicrous or the plaid Model S now. That's what they're calling it. I can't keep up with these kids.
Plaid.
Luda.
I don't know if they
Chris,
can do much better than plaid.
why
You're bumping
plaid?
up against the edges of physics with 0 to 60 times.
SpaceX cold gas thrusters. Excuse me, Drew.
That's also
Excuse
plaid,
me,
though.
dude?
That's
But why
considered plaid mode.
why is it called plaid?
Yes,
Why not
But
Okay, you're done. So why is it called plaid, and why can't we call it like flannel or something?
Because that's not the Spaceballs reference.
It's got to be from Spaceballs. Great.
We're going to have a Winnebago. We're going to have the Cybertruck Winnebago. And it's just going to be... It'll have...
Why does everything has to be an inside joke? The most expensive joke.
Because that's Elon. That's his style. When Elon's gone, they'll probably be more traditional.
I hope he's never gone. I know.
We're gonna live to see him gone. I'm telling you that now.
No, when Elon dies, I die.
Is to live on Mars, and die on Mars, just hopefully not on impact.
You're a fool if you think he didn't back up his brain to something back here on Earth.
I didn't know we were counting digital Elon. Does that count? Are they going to let the AI run the company?
Yes,
the tweets live on forever.
It'll be the first Fortune 500 company run by an AI.
I don't think they'll do that, but I could see Elon letting an AI take over his Twitter account.
Oh, it might even be better.
Though it would probably tweet things that would get the stock in trouble in general.
I'm going to take it private at 420. You know what's funny? Somebody, we made the 420 joke once, and now it's like we're plagued where it just hangs in that area now. I feel so plagued by it. It's not funny anymore.
Shareholders are just trying their best to get the stock to stay at 420.69.
Well, they're doing a terrible job if that's the case. Now we're 40 under. God, get it together.
I don't know. The stock market behaves in such bizarre ways. Like Nikola will be in the news for kicking a kitten off the street and killing 100,000 people, and the stock goes up. And then Tesla announces that they're going to release a $1 EV that goes 80,000 miles per charge, and everyone's like, "Time to sell. Let's back out. I don't want to be in the company anymore." I don't get things that people give hope for Nikola for are insignificant compared to the great things Tesla's doing, and yet the stock still just they can't decide. I don't get it.
That's just
market's weird.
I feel like too many people are trolling it at this point. That's why it's so volatile, because there's so much trolling, and unfortunately, the millennials are probably the biggest investors, and they're the most immature minds at this point when it comes to playing the game.
The split, it's more accessible to the younger crowds.
Fools. Oh well.
Fools.
Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I don't know what camp I sit on with that, but I
got a stock and full self-driving question merged together. If you were to invest $10,000 in Tesla stock, could you buy full self-driving with the profits in how many years?
Wait. Wait.
Okay.
That's the most Tesla question of all time.
Yeah. we need to start some historical trends here. Do some future projections.
Should you buy full self-driving or put it in Tesla stock and let the stock pay for itself?
If I spent $10,000 on full self-driving, I would still have a profit with my stock.
I know that. That's just a Randy flex. I'm talking now, today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, today. Maybe I don't understand the question.
No,
how many years would you have to wait for the stock to cover the price of full self-driving if you bought
just one?
Because let's say someone's on the fence and they're like, "I don't know if I want to buy FSD at $10,000." It's like, well, what if you just invested it and it turned into covering FSD in a few years?
I might be wrong here, but I don't think we're ever going to see an explosion the way we did again.
Yeah, I think we're good for a long time.
Yeah, I think it's going to kind of stay idle for a while, and I don't.
You don't think it will double then?
No, they already did their share split. I mean, after you split, that's kind of not the only thing that it means, but one of the things that it can mean is the management thinks that they're going to be pretty stable for a while. At least to the fact where it now makes sense to allow more people to invest by reducing the price, the single share price.
I think if they
you're
saying 30 years from now.
No, I don't think it'll be that long. I'm just saying once they get into the next industry, whatever Tesla's next thing is.
No, here's where I disagree with that. I think the moment they introduce a dividend, we'll see it kind of go again. Because right now, there's no dividend, and that goes against my rule when it comes to investing. But there's only a few companies that I've invested in that don't have a dividend because I actually believe the company. Tesla's one of them. T-Mobile's another one. I got in really early, and they're the only one that didn't do dividends. And I'm like, I can see the stock being more valuable than the dividend. However, Tesla, I do believe, will introduce a paying dividend once things get more situated. The most known manufacturers with vehicles have a dividend, and
they're not a car company.
I mean, even energy
I think
companies.
they see themselves more as Apple than they do Ford.
Apple has a dividend too.
As a software company. I mean,
and all those guys have dividends. Tesla's the outliner in this, where they're the only ones who don't actually have a dividend to pay out. Once you see them offering a dividend, I actually think then, to answer your question about the stock and full self-driving, buying into the stock would probably be more profitable, because then I think you will actually see higher returns quicker, because most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, a dividend from a stock is going to outperform the market in the sense of like a conventional bank or savings account. So you'll be able to get your full self-driving. Well, the thing is, like, the outliner here is, now let's step away from the stock, full self-driving. If it keeps bumping up that way, that you might be chasing it for maybe indefinitely, and if that's the case, then really what you want your stock to do is pay for your monthly subscription if you're just chasing it the whole time.
Hey,
actually,
there you go.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
I say it's a matter of time.
Matter of time of what?
A matter of time. The question is, how many years will it take for the stock to pay for full self-driving? I would say it could be 10 years. Tesla's going to be a very different company 10 years from now. That's for sure.
So you're saying invest $10,000 today, or sorry, 8,000. It's 8,000 now. No, 10,000. It's 10,000. Oh my gosh, it's 10,000.
They're in the five figures. Hopefully, they stay in the five-figure realm. I hope they will
until they hit $99,999.99.
That's still five figures. So
it's actually technically 7 with the 99 cents, but whatever.
That's crazy.
No. We're at 8 figures now. 7 figures now if you count the cents.
You don't make any sense.
My only regret. No, that's not true. Never mind. I'm gonna bite my tongue.
Randy almost had a regret about his Tesla. We were about an inch away from hearing a regret about Randy's favorite vehicle. Drew, we need to know.
I do remember you buying up a bunch right before the Cybertruck unveil.
I know. I did. Regret that.
My only regret, actually, what I was fine. I'll just say my only regret is that and this is me, hindsight 2020. I wish I sold. If I made most of my portfolio,
I cannot wait for 2020 to be in my hindsight.
I would have never sold Apple stocks, and there's a few other ones I would have not sold, but all these other ones that I look at that just pay me a very high yield. Had I used that money exactly a year ago and put that in Tesla, my only regret is that I wish I would have held on to 100% of the shares and not just most of it, because just kind of looking at what I actually paid out of pocket vice the return, Tesla, the reason why Tesla is a very different company today as it was even a year ago was because a year ago, almost everybody except the enthusiasts were doubting Tesla. Everybody doubted, and nobody's doubting them today. We actually saw that shift happen back in March, and it solidified its point when they had their earnings call for that quarter, when they said Model Y is still on track. Here we go. What now, COVID? And they did their thing, and everyone doubted the whole time. But the moment that happened, all the crap talking just went silent. Nobody's talking anymore, and not in the sense that, like, now if anybody's saying like Tesla's doomed, then they just look like an idiot, and it's like, get out of here. Go the same way Apple's doomed. Get out of here. You're dumb. You're trying to be clickbaity. You're just trying to be clickbaity at this point. So I look at it now, And Tesla, the thing is, I did not have this knowledge 12 months ago. Tesla is single-handedly the reason why I am as successful to allocate even type of little funds here and there. I'm thankful for what it did to help me diversify the income, but I also believe with even less than 10 years from now, Tesla is going to be so different in the way that it's not too late to get into Tesla, I believe.
Oh, it's so late.
No, I don't think so.
It's totally late, guys. I think you should have been there November 2019.
If people were waiting,
just accept the fact and let us shareholders all hold more money and just, it's too late for you. If
people are waiting for the next Bitcoin explosion to happen the way it did with Tesla, you fall into that trap of trying to time the market. And my regret is not that of me trying to time the market. My regret is that I just didn't hold on to it to just kind of solidify its spot more. Because I don't think that the stock will ever drop that low ever again, to the sense where I'm going to be negative. Like I will always have a profit now, and if I go below, that means Tesla's like virtually in trouble because it did a 5-to-1 split. That company's in trouble, and if that'd be
scary.
That's a very scary thought as a product consumer, as an investor, as an enthusiast. Like I obviously don't want ill will to come towards it. So buying into Tesla was a very emotional base with just trying to believe the promise of that future, and seeing it kind of come to fruition in little sections makes me still optimistic that not even 10 years, I say in 5 years, we're going to see so many changes that happen, because right now they acknowledge how far ahead they are with the competition, but they're not dumb enough to just pretend that's always going to be the case. It's like when iPhone 4 came out, they said we're 5 years ahead of the competition right now, and within 5 years all these Android OEM stuff started coming around, and Apple was constantly trying to keep the lead, which is why they're still the most talked about smartphone industry in that same sense, that they acknowledge their position in the market, in the industry, not just from a financial sense, but just what they're doing for the world, and they got to ride that momentum out again. And I think they're being very smart with it. 5 years from now, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, if this is how much changed in the last 12 months, the next 36 months, once we start seeing Cybertrucks come out, what's going to happen during that time? Full self-driving might be fully complete. We might have a whole nother product industry that's introduced. You have all these other big milestones that we just are speculating that's going to really not only ramp up the market side of things, but just wrap up the current lineup of what we have. And what a time to be alive. This is crazy.
It's going to be very interesting. Just the next 3 years is going to be super interesting, let alone 10.
A lot of people won't believe us is the thing, that I feel like we talk about it now, and I can give everybody the same warning: get in it now. And what's sad is most people still are going to not believe, or they'll hold out,
or for that dip, or
I keep having people tell me it's like, I wish I bought Tesla, and I tell them, and they're like, Randy, please help me, and I tell them, like, buy right now, a fraction of the share, just put $20 in, something, just put your foot in the door. And they're like, no, I'm gonna wait for, like, they don't take my advice, and those types of people who are writing completely.
I wish I bought Tesla. Randy, help me.
Yeah. I have messages from Facebook, people doing that to me, and I tell them, all right, you want my advice? Here's what you gotta do. Nah, I'm gonna wait until, like, I help them, or I give them my advice, which is not. I'm not being secretive about it.
Just a little mentorship tip for you. You give the information, and it's up to them to take it, and you can't lose sleep over it.
I'm not losing sleep.
More importantly. Me. Oh, no, I see the bags under your eyes, Randy.
Oh. No, that's the impending doom of the iPhone right now, iPhone 12.
Ouch.
That's
just depression.
That's just...
That's the fact I don't have ProMotion on my phone right now.
Ooh. So do you think Tesla should add ProMotion to the in-car displays? Okay.
Yes,
so
I think it has the battery life for it.
Really? Do you think so?
I think it won't hurt the battery life that bad. But also, originally I wouldn't make little critiques like that because I figured Tesla cares about what matters, which is battery production and extending range, so they don't care about little details like that. But, I used to say it would be really nice if they switched to USB-C and supported wireless charging by default in the car, and now they do that. So yes. I will say
I'm not saying that Elon listens to all of these shows, but I'm saying that Elon listens to all of these shows.
I would say compared to most automakers, they were pretty up to date with that transition over to this is the new port, this is the new standard people are moving towards. And I love how fluently and how frequently they update the software with like the version 11 redesign type thing. I love that you can get that in a car now. And it pretty much seems like Tesla's the only company doing that. I can't think of many other car companies. There are some that have updates, but none of them are like, we're going to completely redesign our UI to look more fresh and modern and add these new apps and features. So if they're the type of company to do that, then I would say, yes, talk to your supply chains, figure out where you're getting your displays from, and work on making a thinner bezel, larger screen with the same form factor. I know it's integrated into the dash or whatever, but still, just a larger display with that
make
same...
it vertical. You just like pivot it.
Or swivelable, yeah, that would be
or better yet, pull it out so that when you have movie night in the back seat, you can just like it like has like a little arm that just extends out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on the record, I don't think robotaxis are going to be a thing this decade or maybe next decade, but if Tesla believes there will be, then they need to work on making sure these displays and that software can behave as good and comparable to that of our iPads and MacBooks that we're used to using. If they plan on doing work in the car, and they talked about how they want to add more functionality to the software. It's just not their main focus right now because they want to figure out FSD. But yeah, get ready for that kind of stuff. So yeah, give it the high refresh rate, give it the thin bezel, give it the brighter nits, give it the more, it's not a super high resolution display. It's still miles ahead the rest of the industry, but it'd be nice if it was Retina bumped up a bit, or I want to see all that tiny little updates here and there. Doesn't have to be OLED, but something better.
Should they make the nits of the headlights double? Just double the nits on the headlights.
I've never seen someone measure headlights in nits, but that'd be kind of funny. How many candles is that headlight on the front? How many nits does the Cybertruck have? I like the Cybertruck display.
There are lots
I want
of
to see that brought
with the Cybertruck.
I think so. Maybe they could use ceramic shield glass on it.
No, they should use Tesla armor glass on the iPhone.
There you go. Even smarter. Yes, I want all the.
Then we can have Franz come up on an Apple event and chuck a stainless steel ball at the new iPhones on stage. I'd love this.
Should do that at every durability test at every event. It's just another Franz with a steel ball.
Him asking, "Are you sure?
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Are you sure? Hit it harder."
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
I'm kind of surprised single motor Model Y isn't out yet. I thought it'd be up by now.
Really? By now?
Yeah, he said it was a few months away, and that was in like May.
Well, that was Elon time, and by definition, a few months is anywhere between 2 and 99. So,
well, they said the 7
kind of like my IQ
sometimes. Model Y was ahead of schedule, and it's also cheaper now than when they unveiled it, which ties me back into my Cybertruck question. Ooh. Like originally, when they launched the Model Y, it was $2,000 more than they promised it was going to be, but then a few months in they lowered it to $1,000 lower than originally promised. So is there a chance the Cybertruck could undercut its initial promised pricing?
I think there's a chance, yeah, but maybe for the
that'd be amazing.
You're telling me there's a chance.
Single motor. Yeah.
You'd say single motor could be cheaper than they said, or
well, to be honest, I think single motor was by leaps and bounds already the cheapest truck you could probably get your hands on for that size. Yep. So that right there,
especially electric.
Yeah. But even if you take electric or gas or diesel, take all that away, just size alone, those things run like 65 to 85 normally anyway. And I think they can make it cheaper, but they can afford not to make it cheaper. Because it's already cheap. The only way they'll make it cheaper is somebody else comes out, not a concept, an actual, here's our E150 Ford something for 45 or something like, all right, 35. There you go.
Or
they'll pull a Model S and lower it just out of the news articles.
420369. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, that number.
That price.
Yes.
That price.
Exactly.
That one.
That exactly.
That one.
I think if they just keep the price the way they promised it, it's going to sell great. But it would just be downright disrespectful to competition to lower it even further.
Now you're just spitting on them when they're down.
That's just mean. Come on, you're already in the lead and you're lowering it even more.
Just to prove a point.
I love jumping on dead horses. It's so much fun. Especially when their name is Ford. But hey, Nikola, did you see Nikola is in the news again?
What'd they do?
What they do? The SEC is having rulings on them. It's so much fun.
Oh, good. I better buy that stock then.
Yes, definitely.
Up and
Great time to buy. Only going up. You know, I've heard from sources. Now, other people say this. I don't say this, folks. But other people say that buying Nikola right now is like buying Tesla in 2010.
Basically the same.
Basically the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
I will tell you, I was so close at one point to pulling the trigger
on Nikola.
On just to put like maybe $100 just to see.
Oh! I don't think we can let you back on the show now.
Exposed.
Yeah, I was close. I ended up not doing it.
The fact that you even thought of that,
but
and it wasn't a short
though,
sale.
Right?
My portfolio does that a lot. Actually, I buy competition as well because inevitably I'm bound to be right. So
do you own any Alphabet shares?
Did you just call Nikola competition?
I was gonna say,
but I did. I before Tesla, I owned Ford. I had Ford for a while.
Well, Ford has good dividends.
Yes, they do, and that's why. And
I own Ford
because Ford is not
I don't believe in the company, but I like the stock.
But now I'm curious. I was curious to see what Nikola was. But the thing is, the reason why I didn't pull the trigger is because it goes against my investment strategy. And I was like, you buy rumors and sell news,
which is don't buy stupid stocks. I agree. That's a good one.
Oh, there's a lot of stupid
propagated by Conrad.
Oh no! Hold on. I got stupid stocks. I get downright dumb.
Don't be an idiot. Changed my life. Every time I buy a stock, I ask myself, would an idiot buy that? And if they would, I do not buy that stock.
An idiot would not know how to use the stock market. But
so the thing is, a lot of idiots who do use the stock market.
Most of the people on the stock market are idiots.
So when I look at Nikola, a rule when an IPO happens is I will never buy I didn't do it for Virgin Galactic, even though I own stock of theirs now. They're another one that doesn't pay dividend, but I actually believe the company. So I do have a holding on them as well. But I don't buy into the IPO hype because it always shoots up and then it bounces. So I waited around August time frame, and I started looking at it, and I was like,
Nikola?
Yeah, I waited.
In August.
Well, August is when I started. Like, I marked it so I can keep an eye on it, and I started looking at it, and I'm like, no, this is a scam. Like,
I have it in my stocks app just like for the same reason I watch car crash compilations. I just like seeing how far down it drops.
When they opened at their peak, they were about $80. They were $80. And now they're 18.
Under 20, yeah.
Yeah, they're 18. And so I was like, yeah, no, this is a scam. This is just a scam. I just don't. My other rule is that like if I'm not doing it for the dividend, I have to believe the company, and I don't believe the company. I never did.
Would you invest in a company that makes smartphones called Banana?
Ooh. You know,
because it could be Apple competition.
Actually, to be fair, I did own Nokia for a second when they had the banana looking phone a couple years ago.
but does this banana phone company sell hydrogen powered phones? That's the real question. They must be hydrogen.
I did have
Right.
Nokia for a second. Nokia, Nikola, it's kind of the same.
I would love the headlines for that stock alone, just to be like,
Banana.
shatterproof phones doesn't guarantee shatterproof stock prices. You know,
I think
stock isn't as durable as product.
boom.
There'd be some great headlines with Nokia.
I will always bookmark like competition and just keep an eye on it. And Nikola, I thought about doing a quick buy and a quick sell, but that's not my investment strategy. And it didn't meet my checkbox of either a dividend or something that I believe. So I didn't do it. But all my friends did do it, and they all lost so much money.
I'm really glad we're not friends.
I guess we're not friends.
All my investing friends. You guys weren't in the market.
Okay.
Drew was definitely not in the market.
Okay, I'm glad you think that I don't invest or something.
No, I
was investing before they went public.
With Nikola?
Mm-hmm.
You bought Nikola before they went public?
No,
I was investing. I was an investing friend. We may not talk about investments, but I was investing in stocks at that time.
Okay, let me be a little bit more specific. I'm talking. I am talking about day traders, people who go on and actively. That's what they do as a job to turn.
They bought Nikola.
Not the smart ones.
Okay. So out of all of these 6 friends that you have, 2 of them are day traders. One of them is smart.
I hope they don't watch this podcast.
I have actually about maybe 5 people I went to school with, and they are that's what they do for a living. They're day traders. And when I asked them, but these are the same people. They didn't buy Tesla for the same reason. They're like, it goes against what they believed in, and like about their strategy for day trading. And I'm like, I'm more of a passive growth kind of guy. I don't want to think about it. And they're like, no, I want to do this every single day. So that's where we have fundamental differences. Where I'm like, I'm putting thousands of dollars into Tesla, and they're like, I wouldn't give Tesla $5. And then when they blew up, I went back to them this year. I go, $5, huh? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. Like, no, you're not. You're just saying that.
If you invested a penny into Tesla in 1840, you would have $10 trillion now.
You know, if I purchased the Nikola Tesla brand from Nikola Tesla's family after he died in 1920, I could have extorted money from Tesla and Nikola. I would have just...
True.
I'm waiting for the next car company.
Name.
I'm waiting for the next car company to come out and just be called Edison or something, and then that's the one that goes commercial, and I'm like, get out of here.
Or just Thomas. The competitor to Edison's just going to be Thomas.
I'm sick of more and more EV startups just aiming for the 6-figure market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I guess that's how Tesla started, so that's probably how long-term a lot of EV companies wants to start. But I'm very
Imitation
very
is the greatest form of flattery.
Right. I'm going to keep my eye on Lordstown Motors very closely because they're the first EV startup I've seen that wasn't like, okay, we got to start off with a $100,000 luxury pickup or luxury sedan. Instead, they're like, no, this is our first electric vehicle. It's a pickup truck, and it's $50K. And I'm like,
Randy, have you seen anything about Lordstown? I think Drew and I talked about it when you weren't here one week.
Yeah, we did a whole episode on him basically when Randy was gone. But I think something's fishy. I have a hard time believing them. But if they're true to their word and they can actually deliver that vehicle next year, it'll be very impressive. It'll be cool to see an EV company start out with a more affordable model instead of jumping to the 6-figure market and saying...
Better than the Cybertruck in a lot of different directions. I mean, for those who aren't a fan of the Cybertruck,
if you want a basic-looking pickup truck, then Lordstown will look very average.
If you think something is fishy, trust your intuition.
Well, I'm not investing in them, but just as a
no. I'm not talking as an investment. I'm talking as a just as a fan. You know, like how many startups at this point or startups have come out here with high accolades, like here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something that's, you know, more to the people, a real truck, a real this, a real that. I was believing Rivian for a second too. I was like, oh, maybe this might actually be something, but nope. Like everything about I'm just so jaded by the belligerent ripoff of Tesla that if you're not really innovating, you're just copying. You're doing this
anymore.
Yeah. So,
well, let me just say, Lordstown is not copying Tesla.
No,
I will completely admit that.
Randy, Lordstown is basically they bought a old GM pickup truck factory that had been disused somewhere in Lordstown.
GM was selling it.
Yeah, GM was selling it, and it already has a bunch of machinery. Their concept for their pickup, which they already have prototypes for, which, by the way, the president and vice president have ridden around in them.
It's not a render.
It is operational stuff, and they're not pushing it down the hill. Is to use more of this GM equipment that there's already at this factory. And I understand there's a lot of equipment that's not going to be the same. You know, they're not going to need engine equipment. They'll need electric motor equipment. But at least for
they have to retrofit, whereas Tesla has to build the whole thing.
Exactly. So they already have a building. They already have a lot of machines. Those machines need to be retrofit. But also they have a bunch of GM engineers who are helping them retrofit them. So anyway, I'm quite optimistic about Lordstown. We'll see if they can pull it off. I'm kind of curious, like how, like, where their money came from. Like they just kind of
they were an EV startup before.
They
rebranded before Lordstown, but yeah, they've been around for about as long as Rivian has been around.
Really?
This is they were in the development, research and development phase for a long time, and now they're trying to get ready for mass production, and they've got money, they've got backing, and it won't be high volume, it won't be Cybertruck levels of production, but I think it's a good problem to have when you can create a compelling product, you just can't make enough of it. That's a good problem.
Yep.
Okay.
That would be cool. I hope. I like Rivian, though. I know they're expensive, but the way they're demoing their vehicles on Long Way Up is cool. I want more EVs to do that. I would much rather
need to have a podcast get together, Disney Plus watch it together moment. What is that thing is called? Oh, it's on Apple. TV. Oh, it's on Apple TV Plus. Okay.
So you've got 3 months.
Yes, I have plenty of time. Perfect.
Yeah, but I prefer a company just coming forward and saying, "Here, you guys are going on a road trip. Use our vehicles. Like, drive around with them. Take them. They're going from the bottom of South America all the way up to
Tesla.
LA, and they're planting.
I would love to go on a road trip.
Charge stations.
Just hit me up.
I know. I want Tesla to do that. It would be great if there was some documentary crew or some road trip group that's like, hey, we want to do a zero emission or low emission road trip, and we want to use the latest generation tech that's going to work the best. So Tesla just goes, here you go. Use the Cybertruck. Let us know how it works, and we'll try to make it better, and we'll put charge points where you need them. And I like the way Rivian's handling that launch. The vehicle's pretty pricey, but still, I would rather them do that than GM do their CGI. Look, it's so cool, but it's not real the whole time. It's just depressing. It's just sad to watch, knowing it's animated. I'd rather watch a real truck drive.
Oh, I want a real truck. Ford F-250, the dually option with the extended bed and the extra crew cab. It's built Ford tough.
And they even have the Lordstown EV doing the tug of war with the F-150.
Yeah,
that's the new funny EV trend.
If you release everyone just crap on the F-150 and show how much you can beat it.
Everyone needs to compare to the F-150. So Ford with their EV is going to have quite the...
I'm going to see a Twitter response from Ford. Stop tagging me in this.
Will the Ford electric F-150 do a tug of war with the gas Ford F-150?
No, but they will have the electric vehicle Ford F-150 pull a train, even though it's barely any torque required to pull a train.
That's true.
there are strong people
cool
who
in a
have
commercial.
pulled said trains. No, they're like legit.
That's also true.
They're legit like bodybuilders and people who like pull trains.
Built tough.
Built tough. It's just Dwayne the Rock Johnson built up with the fourth hook.
Ford introduces Dwayne the Rock Johnson. We personally put Dwayne the Rock Johnson in every electric F-150, and he pedals the motor.
That'll be easy because there's only one.
The Rock 350.
The Rock 350. I like it.
There you have it. Well,
They should hire us to do some marketing. That's great.
I think so.
that would be pretty great.
Also, Tesla. I know you just got rid of your entire marketing department, but send us a few Teslas. We'd be happy to do a road trip. I'll even get. Oh, Randy, did you see that link that I sent you to that DJI Mavic 2 drone that was doing the?
I saw you send me a link, but I was so busy this morning.
I know,
have not
he
looked
just
at
leaves me on red, guys. I send Randy all these fun and interesting things. Drew's the only one who ever interacts with me. Randy is just ignoring me, and I just wonder why we even pretend to have a friendship, because he's
too rich for us.
He's just over here counting his dollars, diving into his ponds of gold.
Sorry, my friends are the only ones that have EVs. I don't know what you're talking about.
Or Nikola stock.
Or Nikola stock. No, those guys. You know what's funny? Because they're part of this Facebook like private group chat of like investors and stuff like that, and I see people come on and they'll do the crying emojis like, should I hold on to it? And you just see like negative. And you see like negative $4,000, and I'm just like,
it's Trevor Milton, isn't it? I think you're friends with Trevor Milton. He's the one in this Facebook group.
I can confirm nor deny that it is not.
I can confirm nor deny.
I can confirm nor deny.
I'm excited for Tesla's future, to say the least.
I am honestly more excited about the future in general than I am about Tesla's future.
Well, we'll talk about after tomorrow's election.
When do you think the next FSD price increase will be?
Ooh. Actually, that's something I have thought about, and it's contingent on a few things. But I will say, I'll give you a conservative amount. I think it's going to be in about 6 months.
Ooh, that's soon, really?
I do. Yeah.
I was going to say 3.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay, why do you think 3?
When was the 8K increase?
Well, I mean, arbitrary numbers. It's not just based off of that. It's every time they announced something or there's some substantial addition to something, that's when the prices were going to go up. Every time, hey, prices of Model 3s are about to drop, therefore we're going to increase the price of the full self-driving. Now we have this feature that's coming out, therefore we're increasing it to $8,000 now. There was always something in the Tesla ecosystem that it was a reactionary step that now it's the time where we're going to add in a price increase.
So they will put that price on a very, very minuscule thing. They increase the price just for the stoplight stopping. They increase the price just for Smart Summon. So I could see them rolling out something very simple.
But that's also around the time Model Y is now coming out, and that's where the increase happened. I'm not seeing it based off of software additions. I'm talking about product lineup is when we started seeing prices start to change, whether price decrease on vehicles or now the Model Y was coming out, therefore more models on the road, now we can afford to increase the price. I do agree, minuscule software updates, but I'm looking at it's like, well, what just hit the road? Model Y hit the road. We will
if the single motor Model Y is, if they're dropping the entry price of the Y significantly shortly, then that would also increase.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I will say for sure when Cybertruck comes out, we're going to see a very high spike again happen. Because
I think as they roll it out to more people and as it becomes more desirable, they'll feel pressured too.
I say 6 months, and I mean, I kind of arbitrary 6 months, but I would say beyond 90 days because I feel, in my opinion, that the next big adjustment we're going to see is not the different motors for Model Y, but the adjustments of X and S as well. When you have like S updates, not S as in the model, but like 12S, 10S, 7S. Like when you have
incremental improvement. 7S was never a thing, Randy. Get your Apple shit high charge straight. Come on.
When I'm talking about like exterior wise, maybe not much is changing, but what's happening underneath the hood, so to say, and even underneath the hood is just a frunk now. But I
was gonna say there shouldn't be anything underneath the hood.
Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing more storage or something, but anyway, when you have to keep the lineup, relatively relevant. You got to keep it fresh, and so I think Relatively relevant. That's my new handle. I'm gonna get that. When we see that happen for the X and the S, I feel like that'd be a good time to now. Hey, these cars are whether it's a price drop or other features. Now, likewise, we're increasing the cost again. There has to be some type of minor changes. Not just in software, but in hardware, in the actual components of the cabin that will say, okay, while this is being updated, here is the new price. And I don't think I'm not saying it's going to jump another $2,000. It might go up just $1,000, but little things like that, I feel like it's people only make a fit when it's a big jump. If you incrementally add the increase, not that many people are going to throw the same fit as if like a year ago was a 7,000. Well, the biggest, the cold water jumping in the pool was going finally into 5 figures. I think we're going to calm down for a second. Because at that point, what's another grand? It's a psychological
I think a lot
thing.
of people are going to be like, it's already too high. Why did it go
higher? I agree. People will complain on that. But when you look at it, the counter is like, what's another 1,000 to the 10 at that point? Whereas like going from 6 to 7 is like, ooh, that's a big piece of the pie. Now it's 10,000? One more 1,000? Like, it's a smaller cut. But see, it's all strategy based.
That is very much a fallacy there. I mean, objectively, anyone is spending more money than you did, Randy, unfortunately, Mr. 6,000 full self-driving purchaser. So, yeah.
It worked. The only reason why I did is because that was the scare of like, oh, it's going up. And I'm like, I can't afford to go up. And so I panicked. I panic sold or a panic bought at that point. And I don't regret it, but I could have waited.
So to answer your question,
what were you gonna say?
I think we'll be waiting a little bit longer than 3 or 6 months to see another hike in FSD price. I mean, that bump to 10,000 is like that. I don't know. I don't have any stats on what the most expensive software purchase you could purchase is, but it has to be in the top like 5.
Yeah, it's got to be in the
like,
record
right
for
next
a
to
consumer
EA,
grade.
right next to like EA, any EA game. Like that
sure.
$10,000 has to be about the most.
My theory is that they don't get many sales until right before they increase it. Yeah, that's my theory. I think sales flatline right after the increase, and then they spike up insanely high right before. So if they don't increase it, then they're not going to see many people buying it if they don't announce an increase is coming.
That's fair.
So if they announce this March or April, we're going to increase it another $2,000, then they're going to see a huge spike in people buying it at 10. So they're kind of counting on the increase, and I think Elon proved with the last one that they're willing to do it quickly. They're willing to be like, next week, down, let's go. So if they probably think of the revenue they got just from all of the surge buying in that week.
But also that was the most
end of quarter.
That's the culture shock one. That's the mandate coming off for the big price increase because of the full self-driving beta, the real beta. And I think we're not going to see something like that again until Cybertruck timeframe. And in that sense, I would agree with Nick that I would see a substantial increase happen when Cybertruck comes out, and now we have another anticipated model that everyone's been waiting on, especially with the reservations of being 7,000 at the time. You will that is your prime moment to be like, all right, guess what? Now it's going up to 15, unless and you can market.
I would totally agree. $14,000-$15,000 by the time the first Cybertruck rolls out. That's my prediction.
Yeah,
sure.
I think the only way we would see another $2,000 jump up so soon, like in the next 3 months or so, is if the beta testing is going so well that like we can actually push it out to even more and more. Now we can actually put like, hey, feedback on this and the data coming in. This
because they said they want that beta out to everyone by the end of the year.
End of this year.
Yeah. So they could be late on that, but even in that case, if they increase it again, just because the turning on city streets become a standard thing with everybody with FSD, that's why I would say 3 months. You should probably expect another 2K increase.
Well, I mean, if it doesn't happen by end of year, I'm not holding my breath for the 3-month part. I will hold my breath on the next big software push when they will up the price. If they do get it by end of year, everybody, then I think we will see a sooner turnaround at the beginning of the year. If it's now the standard software push for everybody, I can see it happen. I can see it jumping up again, maybe another 1,000 or 2. I mean, 2,000 easy, maybe 3 before February. I could see that.
Well, it's not going down. I think we can agree there. So
no, absolutely
not.
not.
Elon's like, okay, tomorrow FSD is going down to $5,000 for 429 seconds or 426.69 seconds. It's going to go down to $5,000.
I can totally see a sale happening though for holidays. Like we'll
would tick off so many people.
We'll give you. I mean, so some people are mad that
all the people who bought it at 8,000 would be so dang frustrated, and then everyone would stop buying it because they would just wait for another flash sale and just be like, "Oh, I'll wait for it to go on sale."
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, people got upset about the redesign for the Model Y, Model X, 3, and no returns now. It's like, I have USB-A and the old console design.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a flash sale thing. It was like here's the new norm. It's a little different than for one day only.
I wouldn't say for one day. I imagine like a holiday, like, I'm feeling pretty festive, and then just put it on sale.
Just send Bitcoin to this address and you get for free.
Double it back.
All right.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for watching and listening. We'll catch you next week. Hopefully the price doesn't go up before our next episode. Bye-bye.
I'll see you, future Americans. Goodbye.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.